Looking at equations with fractions makes things a little bit more difficult, but if we just get rid of the fractions first by multiplying, the question becomes the exact same. So if I consider this question here, instead of distributing that 1/3 into the fraction, I'm just going to multiply by anything on the bottom of my denominator. So I'm going to multiply this 3 up to the other side. So I'm multiplying that 3 over here, so I'm going to get 18 equals, it's 1 now, 1 times the whole top. Well, I'll write the 1 in, but that 3 is gone because we multiplied it up. So 1 times 8 plus x. Well, now we've got 18 equals 8 plus x. And now to get that 8 to the other side, I just subtract. 10 equals x. Okay, it makes the question a lot easier than trying to work with that fraction. If we consider a question like this, so it says solve and check. So we're not actually going to do the check for this. So let's just solve. Okay, we've done a bunch of checks recently. So what we want to do is we're going to multiply the 5 to the other side. We're going to multiply the 3 to the other side. This is one method. Okay, if you have two fractions that equal one another, you can multiply the denominators up and it will clear them. Okay, so 5 is going to go to the left. So I'm having 5 times k plus 2 equals 3. I've multiplied the bottom of the first fraction now to the other side, k minus 4. So now I distribute, we get 5k plus 10 equals 3k minus 4. The 5 went here and here. The 3 went here and here. And I obviously did that wrong because that should be 3k minus 12. Okay, so now I need to collect like terms. The 3 is going to go to this side. The 10 is going to go to this side. The 10 becomes negative. The 3 becomes negative. 5 minus 3 is 2k. 10 goes to the other side. 12, or negative 12, sorry, minus 10, negative 22. That's going to give me, I need to divide that 2 away. K equals negative 11. Okay, we only have 2 more questions. We're going to do this question again, but we're going to do it a different way. We're going to multiply by the lowest common denominator. You could really multiply by any denominator and then reduce afterward, but let's multiply by, so let's take that out. So multiply by a common denominator. Okay, so if I multiply by 15 here, if I do 3 times 5, that's a common denominator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the first fraction by 15. So 15 over 1 times k plus 2 over 3 equals 15 over 1 times k minus 4 over 5. Now if you wanted to write it like this, 15 here and 15 here, you could do that and then do the same step that I'm about to do. It's a little bit cleaner. So 15 is going to reduce with the 3. So we're going to have a 5 here. 15 is going to reduce with the 5. We're going to have a 3 here. And now we have the same question that we just had. So it becomes 5 times k plus 2 equals 3 times k minus 4. This is a more foolproof way of doing things. If we multiply by a common denominator, if there's more than 2 fractions, it will always work. The method that we used before this, if there's more than 2 fractions, it won't work. So we have to use this common denominator method. So we would again get 5k plus 10 equals 3k minus 12. We would get 2k equals negative 22. And k equals negative 11. This is the same as the question we just finished. So if I had a question like this, first thing we need to do, sorry, I'm going to just move this down. First thing we need to do is clear the fractions. So I need to find a common denominator for 3, 2, and 4. So 3 times 2 is 6, and I know 6 and 4 have a common denominator of 12. So what I can do is I can multiply all of these terms by 12. So I'm going to show you what I was just talking about by putting it up here. I'm going to do 12 here, 12 here, and 12 here. Now all I'm going to do is multiply by the top and divide by the bottom. So 12 times 1 is 12, divided by 3 is 4. So that's going to give me 4y for the first term. Plus 1 times 12 is 12, divided by 2 is 6. Equals 12 times 3 is 36, divided by 4 is going to give me 9. Now I just need to solve. So I'm going to move that 4y over to this side. I'm going to get 6 equals 9 minus 4 is 5y. And then I'm actually going to just leave it as a fraction here. I'm going to divide that 5 over. I'm going to get 6 over 5 equals y. Okay, again, for this one, you probably could write that y equals, or 1.2 equals y, but this is as far as you have to go. That's an acceptable answer. It's showing me the proper way of doing things, and it's more accurate typically than the decimal. Okay, and here are the questions assigned for this note.